Saturday, 8 o'clock on Fox. It's the Big Ten championship game. It's the Michigan Wolverines and the Iowa Hawkeyes. Michigan is a 23-point favorite. Over-under set at 35 and a half. This one's at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. So the Big Ten gets a night game because it's in a dome. So that's cool. That's always a good thing. 23-point favorite in a conference championship game is unbelievable. Listen, if you are a Michigan Wolverine fan or you are an Iowa Hawkeye, I want you to listen very closely. Hit the subscribe button and come hang out with us here at 1st&LONG College Football Show. That's right, I just deked you, but I need you to hit the button because you're missing out on a lot of college football coverage that you need in your life, and we're here to bring it to you. We're building a great college football community, and we want you Michigan Wolverine fans and Iowa Hawkeye fans to come hang out with us, so come and do that, please. Let's go through some of these numbers, and we'll kind of give our takes on this football game. Thank you all so much for joining. Yards per game for Michigan, we'll start on offense. Yards per game, 385.6. That's 59th in the country. Rush yards per game, 169, basically 170. That's 54th in the country. 216 yards passing per game. That's 60th in the country. And points per game, 13th at 37.6. So making a lot of lemonade out of a few lemons on offense, scoring plenty of touchdowns and putting plenty of points on the board. Defensively, yards per game, they're giving up 229.2. That's number 2 in the country. 91.4 on the ground. That's 7th. 137.8. That's 4th in the country on yards given up through the air. And then points per game at 10.2. That is absurd. Almost a single digit points per game on that scoring defense. That's obviously first in the country and first in the Big Ten. Let's flip over to these Iowa Hawkeyes. Yards per game offensively, 231.8. That is 133rd out of 133. Oh, rushing yards per game, 123.9. That's 104th. Passing yards per game, 107.9. That's 130th. And points per game at 18. They're averaging 18 points per game. That is insane. And they're in the Big Ten championship game at 10-2. But it's because of this right here. This Iowa Hawkeyes defense, 271.3 yards per game given up. That's 8th in the country. 104.9 rushing yards per game. That's 17th. 166 yards per game passing. That's 13th in the country. And 12.2 points per game given up. That is 4th in the country. So you've got – it's night and day with this Iowa offense and defense. Horrible offense. Don't score any points. We all know the story about Kirk Ferentz having to tell his son that he's no longer going to be the offensive coordinator after the season. Little did they know that they'd be trekking, to Indianapolis, to Lucas Oil Stadium for a conference championship game. So I guess after the bowl game, Brian Ferentz is going to have to fire his own son, essentially, is what's happening. They've already communicated about that. Really fascinating story. Needed to average 25 points per game, I believe is what it was, and they're at 18 points per game offensively. So got to tell the son goodbye after that. Mason, you want to take us through a key to victory for Iowa in this game? How can Iowa muck this thing up?
Man,
I think it's only one answer, but let's hear what you got to say.
Yeah, it's you're gonna have to turn the ball over on every possession, just about for Michigan. This is gonna be a tough game for Iowa. I don't think it's impossible for them to win this game, though. I do think that this is a team that prides themselves on defense. That defense has got to be jacked up going into this game, knowing, hey, it stops and ends with us. We're going to win or we're going to lose this game. This one unit is going to win or lose this game. I think that they're going to need to get like a pick six. They're going to need to get a scoop and score. Might need both of those to go off, and a defensive or a special team score. I don't think that the problem with this matchup is not so much that I don't have an issue with Iowa's defense, right? I think that they have proven themselves to be very good against lesser opponents, sure, but the same can be said about Michigan, right? Other than really Ohio State, that's really the only offense that they face that I think is an upper half sort of offense. But I think that for me, the challenge for Iowa is going to be their offense scoring points against this Michigan defense, which is an even better defense than Iowa's. That to me is why I can't wrap my head around a scenario in which Iowa wins this game. This is at least the third time in a row that we've seen this matchup, and Iowa hasn't been able to get anywhere with it. I Man, unless some really weird stuff happens, right? I don't have any sort of magic. I wish for the Iowa fan that's watching, and notice that's singular, the Iowa fan that's watching, you out
We have an
there.
Iowa fan watching.
Yeah, they're gonna be watching. They're gonna watch this video, and they're gonna be mad at me because I can't give Iowa a way to win this game, and I hate that for them. But this is going to be a very defensive game, obviously, and you see the over under set at 35 and a half. It's funny to me that's set at 35 and a half, but Michigan's a 23-point favorite. So you're telling me that Iowa's not going to score, right? And that's how I feel about this game. If they do score, it'll be defensive, right? At least a touchdown, right? I could see maybe a field goal here and there, but they're going to need touchdowns to win this game. So I don't see them going for many field goals. So there's a real scenario where Iowa gets shut out in this game, and I fear for that because I'm going to have to watch that game, and I want to see a good game, you know. So I don't know. Overall, I wish I had a little bit more of a lean towards Iowa, but I'm thinking that this is going to be. Oh man, I think it's going to end up being 27-7. I think that they cover, and mainly the reason why I think that Michigan only scores 27 is because they know that that's all they have to score, and they're going to win this game. We know that Michigan is they don't want people to know their game plan, right? They keep it close to their vest. So why go out there and tell the world what you want to do when you don't have to?
Yeah.
So play vanilla, run the ball, and get out of there with a win. Get out of there without any injuries. You'll see McCarthy throw the ball 10 times, maybe. And it's going to be low scoring because of that. So I still like the under to hit in this. And it hit last week. Iowa had the lowest point total last week with Nebraska at 25 and a half. And guess what? The under still hit. So do with that what you will. You get an extra 10 points this week with a better offense, but nonetheless, I think that Iowa is really on like shutout alert this week. But do you have any other points that maybe you can give the Iowa fans some hope on?
You just got to pray that you know Michigan's team leaves the ranch out too long in the heat, and everybody gets the bubble guts. I mean, I don't know what what else you can really hope for in this. I mean,
Yeah,
I hate to be you know I hate to be that way, but that's about all that they can hope for, man.
maybe Michigan
Um,
doesn't get off the bus.
yeah, maybe the bus gets a flat tire and they're late and disqualified, and they automatically give the Big Ten championship to Iowa. I mean, look, Michigan has done whatever they needed to win every football game this year, and they're not going to do any more than that. They're going to do exactly what they need to win this football game, and I think they're going to be able to run the football on this team. Um, they've been able to run the football on everybody. I don't see why they wouldn't be able to do it on Iowa. I think there's going to be a lot of possessions for Michigan. I think there's going to be a pretty good bit of punting, but Michigan, I think, is going to be able to get field position in this game, and I think they're going to be able to keep it because I don't see Iowa putting together any drives worth of crap that are going to flip the field on Michigan. So I feel like Iowa's going to be working from, their, really close to their end zone a lot. And I think maybe it could even result in a safety or two. We've seen that situation a lot in these Michigan games. I think you're right on it. I don't think J.J. McCarthy is going to be dropping back and throwing a lot. I don't think you want to try to test that in this game. I think it's unnecessary, and for that reason, I'm going to take the Michigan Wolverines to cover the 23, and I suspect that they will win this game 35-0. That's what I think is going to happen in this one.
The under still hits.
And the under still hits by half a point. I think Vegas is right on with this one. 35-0. I'm predicting Michigan takes out Iowa as Jim Harbaugh is cruising the sideline in the khakis. He's a Michigan man, Mason. He's a Michigan man, and he will do whatever a Michigan man can. Give me the Wolverines in this one, and they're going to win the Big Ten and go to the college football playoff.